Take it slow, but it's not typical. He already knows that my love is fire. His heart was a stone, but then his hands rolled. I turned him to gold and it took him higher. But I'll be a daydream. I'll wear your favorite things. We could be beautiful. Get drunk on the good life. I'll take you to paradise. Say you'll never let me go. Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time when we knew how to wait. We could waste a night with an old film, smoke a little weed on the couch in the back room. How to wait. Say you'll never let me go. 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 Say you'll never let me go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Let me greet the chat for just a moment. Hey, Hartley, Maribel, DV, Lanky Tour, my love, Teacher Mom, Cinnamon Hot Hot, Aqua Turtle, Ashley Dodd, Mishi, Reasonable Young. So many new names. Hello, Lexi, Orange Butterfly, Boston, Guac and Roll. Oh, good. Nina's here. Hello, everybody. Cassandra. All right, there we go. How
Can I-
are you, Nina?
I'm good. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
I can't see the comments though. Oh,
Are
this
you
is.
on
I actually downloaded the app,
which one?
the one with the bird.
The StreamYard app? I've never
Yes.
used the app before.
It said to download it. Like when you sent the link, that's what it
Uh-huh.
gave me.
Huh.
Hey.
Can you see the chat now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I have to teach you how to do StreamYard so you can.
Because I don't know nothing about this
It's
at all.
super easy. It's really
But it's
easy.
probably easier than TikTok.
I think so. I think you can do more with StreamYard than you can over there, like how you can't present your screenshots. You have to do it on a green screen. Like here I can pull them up super easy like this. Hold on. See, I got one, a Gyp here. Just put her up there for a minute. Huh?
All I don't see. I see your screen, but I just see your. If you put something up, I can't see
You
it.
see this?
I want a lawyer. Please, sir. I want a lawyer. Please, I need a lawyer.
Okay, have a seat.
Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down.
Could you see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll just get right into it, and I think we're on a lag. Maybe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. me get it. Just one second. All right. Now, when Ken's mother came up, that's when I started recording.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go.
3 and a 9-year-old. And I do know, like, I defend them tooth and nail, no matter
Me too.
what the case is, And I may just, out in public, it might, I might say what I have to say, but then when I get home, it's another story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
because they're my kids, right?
Right.
And I totally, totally get that, and I know that this.
If you want me to pause at any time, what we usually do is we just yell out pause, and I'll pause it if you need. You
Okay.
can also speed it up if I need to do that too.
Okay. Situation could be conflicting. I just and here's the thing. I'm gonna have my opinion regardless, Hold right? on. What my followers is asking about the
Okay.
link, your link.
Which one? The YouTube link?
I'm gonna tell them your YouTube,
Okay.
but you could go ahead and play it.
Okay.
Currently, is more of the experience that I've had. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
it does.
Not not based off of, like, when someone kind of, you see a track record, you give that person a opportunity, and then you see that same, like, those same trends, you kind
Yes.
of like look at it like, okay, well, were
Yeah,
they
I've seen
what
it.
it
I've
was,
seen it.
right? And like that was really the thing for me,
No, I get it. I do.
because ultimately I do know Gypsy's human, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, that's just what it is. She's human, and but
Unfortunately, I cannot. That's as loud as it gets. So you may want to get your earbuds or something good to hear it with because that's as loud as it goes.
I just feel like, I guess just the interaction I've had just was wild.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyla.
Yeah, I get it. I do. I do. And, I've met Gypsy and I'm like you. I've seen documentaries and I've seen confliction, but I'm older and I have a little more grace, I guess, in my heart. You're a godly person, so am I, you know, and Christ gave me a lot of grace. He really did, and forgiveness, and just an open mind into putting myself into another person's situation. When my son first started all this, it was very friendship. It was he, I taught that to my kids. I taught grace and love and looking for good. And he really did start it that way. And it did turn romantic. It did. And I was very worried and still am. I am. I'm still worried that Gypsy still needs to get out there and experience life. I don't hate her. I'm not. I've said that from day one. I'm not a hateful person to anyone.
No, and I don't think it should be like a hate thing.
Cautious, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I think here's the thing, Renee, and I will say this with
Raina.
all of the people that are on here, is that Miss Williams, sorry, I was being rude. I just
Or
thought I
just
got there like
Raina.
you
I'm only
so
Raina.
rude. I feel as if I am a very open-minded person, right? And I have made my own share of mistakes in life. Maybe not that to that level, but I have, right?
Yeah.
And even when Gypsy reached out to me, against my better judgment, I still heard her out, right? Now, I took a lot of flack for that, a lot,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I said to her in one of the messages, I said, if your actions really speak for you, you can change the world with your story,
Right.
I literally said this to her. Word for word, I said that to her. She had, when people were so against her, I still told her, I don't trust you, but I feel like you could do better things.
But Nina, is it possible that this girl is coming to you from about maybe a 13, 14-year-old mindset?
Here's and I'm okay with that, right? My issue was in the way that she handled the after effects of it, right?
Right. Yeah.
When you, I may not ever like what someone has to say, but if they're upfront and direct, I can respect them,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Me too.
And if I was transparent enough to do that, then you should have been too. But the fact that and I feel like there was a lot of things that she said in those messages that, like, when I was able to cross reference it, there were lies. And that's an issue to me. Like, there were things that I didn't ask that you didn't have to lie about.
Right.
But
Right.
there didn't need to be deception, right? And a lot of the stuff, like, I could have my opinion because it's out there in the media, but you don't have to address them, right? If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to lie, you don't have to tell the truth, you just don't have to say anything at all. She gave all this excess information that didn't even, and it even kind of, but I also feel like she's done that from the beginning. So
Right. Right. Well,
saying, like,
my daughter, I have a daughter that's very anti Gypsy, and she makes no bones about it in the family. And I posed the question to her, or the scenario of, it takes three entities to raise a child, right? There's the parent, there's the teacher, which can include reverend, which can include other adults in their world, and there's peer.
right,
And Gypsy really was stunted on the the outside. She really only had parent. She really just only had parent. And so nowadays we're looking at media too, but back in my days it was the three, parent, other adult, teacher, reverend, preacher, whatever you call it, and then peer. And I had the privilege of going to spend the night with other friends and stuff and learning from their parents and their cultures and everything, where Gypsy did not have this. He had parents, and a very manipulative, and I'm not going to put bad out there towards Dee Dee either. I think she was probably very abused too, and did the best she could. I think as parents, we do the best we can, right?
right.
And so I'm not going to put bad out there towards anyone, but I have grace. I'm going to show Gypsy grace. Even if she got out and she's manipulative, I'm going to show her the grace that, okay, that's what you were taught. And I'm going to show forgiveness, because Christ, to me, that's what Christ is all about,
I,
is forgiveness.
I, now I do agree about forgiveness, right? But I also feel like your actions need to, like, there needs to be some sort of progress, but there isn't, right? Like, you, even, and I've said this before in the past, um even the way things are going right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm disturbed by that too.
Even just the simple fact that she is constantly in the media, like, constantly, right? She's giving people access to her. If you're saying you want to heal, you want to get off of social media, then do just that, right? Now, also, even just it's just so much when you kind of just see the way it's presented, right?
Right.
And my thing is like she has a bad track record and she's constantly doing the same thing. Forgiveness, you forgive people that are open and willing to change, but it's like she's still on the same BS. Like, and I get she doesn't understand the ins and outs of social media or the ins and outs of, being diplomatic or like how to necessarily present herself in a
Right.
way, right? But if you know this, right, coming straight out of prison, at the door with Ryan should have been a PR person.
Hmm. But she didn't have that.
No,
No.
but she could have done that.
I mean, not really.
Went downhill after that interview with Ryan. What was it, Nick Viles? At that point, when she was stuttering over her words, it would have been in her best interest to get someone to guide her.
Right.
The fact that she kept going, it's like she had no brakes and was just running right into the wall and just kept going. And at no point, even when you think about her getting on Natasha's live,
Hmm.
that was like such a bad look.
Yeah. But I mean, also, what I really just feel like we're looking mentally at a 13, 14-year-old girl right now. I know she's
I
in
don't
the
agree
This
with
body
that.
drives
of a
me nuts that
32-year
she
old
keeps
woman.
saying that, but then you're like that part drove me nuts.
Yes, and I was in the chat just like banging my head against the wall. Um, I don't understand. Like, is she willfully ignorant? Does she think Ken is going to be the one to guide her? Uh, I find it interesting that she hasn't said it yet, but her mom and her other daughter are very anti-Gypsy. And like, has she not done her research? Has she not watched the interrogation? Has she not watched the trial? Has she
But
not listened to
remember,
any of these people?
she said in one of her videos she chooses to look at things through rose color lenses.
Good Lord.
So although she speaks about grace, she also overlooks discernment, and I just don't understand that.
Uh-uh. I don't get it. I don't think she knows what she's talking about. I think she's heard one side of the story, which is Gypsies, and hasn't done any research into the actual facts of what Gypsy did. Uh,
But for
Yeah, it's wild.
23 years, she was in captivity
Yes.
of her mom, and then 8.5 years captivity of the state. So her brain is so stunted that we have to give her a little grace
she's
to
definitely
get out there and
stunted,
make
but not in that way.
mistakes because I have met her, I've talked with her. In her soul, she does not want to be evil. She is getting therapy. She recognizes her mom put very bad things in her brain. She really does. I mean, that is true. And yes, she, with the camera in her face,
She said in her soul, she doesn't want to be evil. So does that mean that she's fighting every day to not be evil? It's just natural for her to be evil.
She not fighting it, girl. She not fighting it.
maybe she'll make a mistake here and there. But as adults, as grown people, we have to recognize this girl really, her brain has been so stunted, and she wants, like everyone else, to be loved and to be understood. And she is making mistakes. And this is just really this. I know she has made the most horrible of all mistakes. And I know because she has cried to me that she knows this too. But how many days can you cry and say you're sorry?
Okay, here's my thing through this entire thing that I noticed is she's very focused on the murder, as everyone should be, of course, but it's not just the murder itself that people are focused on anymore. It
It's
is just
the
these
big picture,
pattern of behavior.
right?
And
It's the big picture.
yes, and she's not seeing the big picture. She keeps going back to what she did to her mother. And right now that's, just a piece of everything. Like you're saying, the big picture.
She has done that. She has done that for 8.5 years to HBO, to Hulu, to you name it, all these people. And she gets out and she's trying to get her little story told, and she's still very stunted. And I would like to think that Christ, on if he were here on this earth, would say, let's give this girl some grace. She's going to make mistakes. She's going, but she's not gonna, what's the word, schmurder. Like that is not in her future.
I hear what you're saying. I really do. But I also feel like she is very good with words. Like, and she is extremely good with words. And I feel as though, um, I mean, even when you think of her apology video, when you go back and look at it, everything, a lot of the things that she said, um, were narcissistic. And the reason why I say that is even when she was talking about the way she was talking about Nick and other autistic people, she said specifically, sh we didn't understand what she was saying,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Not
Yes, tangy
her
turd.
saying, well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But it's always everyone else. And she says she takes accountability, but her actions don't line up with that.
Hmm.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I can see your point. I do. But I also see it as, when you're raised, I mean, like I said before, we're coming at our or from, I'm sorry, from our upbringing. We had school to teach us, we had preachers to teach us, we had our friends to teach us. She had none of that. She had none of that before.
Okay, I just have to keep going back to this reference. Anyone who knows the Turpin children, I can't remember if there was 12 of them, and the daughter escaped out of, it was called the House of Horrors, what
Yes.
these children lived in. And they, one of them has just written a book. I followed them on TikTok. A few of them are on there. And they were in deplorable situations. They were chained to beds. They were not fed for days. They were left alone. All of the things. And it's just like this woman is giving Gypsy an excuse for being a murderer.
Over and over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't.
So we can all say how we would do things, but when you had none of that, we don't know what it's like or how we would react when we had none of that other upbringing, which is so vital to an upbringing. And I am not here to say, oh my God, Gypsy's so right, everybody's so wrong. I'm not here to say that. I really don't even think Gypsy would say that. Gypsy's in therapy. Gypsy's very much trying to figure out, she had a mother teaching her some really bizarre things. A mother that was probably abused, um, what essay abused herself. We all know Grandpa. We knew from the moment he spoke. Okay. And brain development is so bizarre. And I just give the grace that she is not as developed as
She
you,
coming up with more
or I,
excuses than
or
OJ's
my
attorney.
son, or anyone else.
um, and Gypsy is smart. She is a very smart person. She's a very calculated person. She is not in any way mentally stunted. Does she act like a juvenile and
Yes.
do high school
Right.
shit? Yes. Yeah. But I just don't understand her
Mentally stunted
point.
is very much a reach.
Yes. And I just don't understand why she keeps going back to that. If she's okay, so if she is in her eyes mentally stunted, then what does that make your son? Is he taking advantage of a mentally stunted person? I don't get it.
No, literally.
It's kind of what she's saying.
else that it's experienced a normal life. And so I want to give her the grace of maybe a 12, 13-year-old because she spent 8.5 years in what society might call the closest to the real world she could ever experience, which was actually prison. It was actually prison that she has come close to experiencing real world. And I just, as a
Now, I've never been to prison, but I would think being in prison with people who have done horrendous things, you would have learned, a lot from that as well. So for her to continually say Gypsy's had no life experience, which she hasn't, but in prison, she had to have gained some sort of know on how to deal with people, especially like probably the hardest people you have to deal with, other inmates in prison.
as a godly person myself want to sit back and let this girl develop. And I don't know if that will be with my son or not. I really don't. I don't care.
Y'all listen to
My
this part
position
real
is
close.
I'm team Ken. That's my son.
Well,
I will,
and I want you to be. You should be like there. And to be honest with you, just based off of what I have seen from Ken, um, I think he's very genuine. Like there's nothing in me that feels like he's not. Um, I feel as if he wants the best for Gypsy genuinely.
he does.
Genuinely, really does want the best for her. And he's kind of like, I'm here and I want to make sure she's good. My thing is, I just, and I could be completely wrong. I could be
No,
completely wrong.
it's not a matter of wrong or right. It's just a matter of, meeting in the middle and understanding, right? I mean, that's all it is. That's what life is all about.
I would just hate for him to end up getting hurt in the long run. And I feel like just looking at the track record and how she even currently is, there is a way higher likelihood of that than it being a success story.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. But I hope the best. One of the things that you have mentioned in her manipulating, let's talk about Nick for a minute because my heart really goes out to Nick too. Um, and I feel like I need to bring him in here because he's very prevalent. And you talk about him a lot, and you should, because this guy um, is so much a part of the story. And I want you to know that Gypsy knows that too. But I want to come at a different angle and pose that, like I said before, Gypsy didn't have the outside influence like we always, like so many people can say, why didn't she get up and tell the doctors that she could walk? Why didn't she call the
Now
cops
I'm gonna be honest with
and
you. I
say,
don't. This
something's
is
wrong
the
with
only
my
part where
mom?
I thought was very disingenuous.
Which part?
Where she was saying she really felt for Nick. I don't believe that.
Really?
Just based off of the way she spoke about it.
And she's kind of skipped right off of it. She brought him up and then went back to why didn't she get up and go to at the doctor's? Why didn't she stand up? Why didn't she tell somebody? So she kind of just glossed right over that.
Right.
What else was I going to say? There was something else that she just said. I don't know.
I'm perfectly fine. Um, she couldn't. She just couldn't. How would this girl know
Mm-mm.
that this guy may have been autistic?
That right there. I cannot. Maybe she didn't know what the word autism was. She knew he was autistic. What is she talking about? He's clearly mentally stunted, if you will. So Gypsy didn't know. Is that what she's saying? That Gypsy didn't know that Nick was autistic? I can't. She manipulated that guy. She picked him because he was off in the head. Uh-uh.
I don't think she
Be respectful in the comments,
Oh my
y'all.
God.
Like seriously, like I understand that you might have a difference of opinion than his mother, but you need to be respectful in the comments.
Thank you. I'm respectful of everyone's opinion, and I'm here to hear it. And I'm just only trying to tell mine. I'm just thinking that this girl was so stunted that it's a different level of stunt. It's one
Oh,
thing to
hey, Jen
physically
Lou. It's good to see
hit a
you.
child, but that child still goes to school. It's even with SA, they still go to school. They still have friends. They still have sleepovers. They still have other outside influences that we can come at and say, well, if I were her, I would have done this. This girl had none of that. She had none of that. She had Disney movies and a very controlling mother. And she wasn't 13.
That right there tells me that she has not done her homework, because she did not just have Disney movies and what was the other thing, and a controlling mother. No, ma'am. It's way deeper than that.
She wasn't 14. She was 19, 20, 21. And her mother was still telling her, you're not allowed to date. You're not allowed to do anything. As a matter of fact, you better sit in that wheelchair and tell those doctors what I tell you to say. And I'm not saying that she may not have been in on it, but she was very mentally stunted. She was very mentally
You can't have
unaware
it both
of
ways.
what life looked like
Yes.
outside her home. And I just give her that grace in that. So this guy comes along, and I am not anti Nick either. Honestly, I feel like that poor kid loved the hell out of that girl and did the ultimate for her. But I have a very good friend who has an autistic son who is the greatest kid ever, who is almost 30 years old. He's 29, he'll be 30 in August. And you're not talking that kid into anything bad. I mean, he's just the sweetest kid ever.
This is
So,
what made me
and
think how
I'm not trying
disingenuous
to
it
put
was.
down on Nick here. I'm just saying that there had to be a darkness there too. It's so much more complicated. And just
I
all the
wouldn't.
blame out on Gypsy.
No,
It's just
how
Mm-mm.
did she give all the Gypsy all blame this is not on grace, but Gypsy none at for all. Nick when he actually had a disability? That's what kind of baffles me.
She keeps going back and forth. One minute she feels for him, and then the next he is dark and disturbed. She
Right.
doesn't even say why she feels for him, because when she said it, then she went straight to Gypsy didn't know he was autistic. What?
Right. Oh. In fact, throughout my content, I've always said that I feel as if he needs a mental health evaluation
yes.
and for them to come with a treatment plan and a course of action. Um, but unfortunately, the way things have played out this far, he doesn't have that opportunity, right? And I get that it looks as if it's all on Gypsy. Yes, whatever part he had in it, he still committed the crime, right? He has admitted to committing to the crime. But the reality is, if there was no Gypsy, would this situation had happened?
I don't know. Would he have found another girl?
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
I mean, we'll never know that.
Gypsy was speaking to him for 3 years
Yeah.
planning this.
When her mom went to sleep at night, I mean, it was the only time she could find any freedom, right?
No, see, I don't believe that either. I think she was doing stuff during the day as well. It wasn't just when her mom went to bed at night. I call bullshit. You know, she should
course.
know the story. She doesn't seem to know the story.
She
Her
says
mom controlled her while
What?
she does, but I just don't feel that way.
Uh-uh.
she was awake. And then mom went to sleep and she tried to reach out to the world.
Oh, God.
And I'm not putting this on Nick. I would never do that.
Yes,
She
you are.
is.
Yes, you are.
So
I am not. I think he is
Hold on, I'll pause
a
it.
victim here as well.
Did you want to say something?
mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, that I call bullshit on what she just said all the way.
do, and I think Gypsy does too. I mean, she has told me, such that she testified for Nick, by the way. She really did.
Well, that was part of her plea deal.
I mean, but she really felt that in her heart too, Nina. She really did.
Lies.
She really did. Gypsy's not this evil. I mean, she knows her manipulation.
She's not evil, but Nick is dark.
She really does know that. That's why she's.
Gypsy's not evil, but Nick is dark.
And she
That
also,
is very conflicting.
yeah, I think this whole thing is conflicting back and forth. Oh, what was I going to say? She said, fuck, now I'm going to forget. Sorry, ADD squirrel.
She's in therapy. She's trying to retrain her brain.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, so now I remember. A minute ago, she said that Nick, you asked if Nick would have done it if Gypsy wasn't a part of the picture. And her answer was basically yes, that he would have murdered someone, whether it was her or not.
Which I don't believe that.
No, I don't at all.
When you're in therapy, you have to. One of the first things you learn in therapy is Gio, give me that iPad. It is too loud. Let me see the iPad. Give me the iPad, Papas.
It's not a boombox. It's not a boombox.
And do not turn it back up.
Cracks me up.
One of the things, yes, he's jamming. One of the things that you learn is the accountability aspect of it, right? And while Gypsy says she feels accountable, her actions don't line up with that, right?
Not immediately, no. I mean, she got out, she experienced some freedom, she was happy. No, you're right. And she misspoke a lot. I agree.
And now
Misspoke.
where things are, right? Again, not being
Gypsy's
accountable.
still on the same Gypsy stuff. Like Gypsy's out here having TMZ on speed dial. And I honestly, this is my opinion, and I may be totally wrong. I think the whole time Ken was out there in Louisiana, he did not know that she was out there calling TMZ.
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, I don't know about her calling TMZ, but they called me.
Well, I'm sure. I mean,
You know, like
sure.
these comments about money, that's a joke. That's a joke. I mean,
I don't think you're actually being paid. I know a lot of people think that. I don't personally think that.
well, I can assure you I'm not, nor would I accept a dime from it, because money, I am not money motivated. That is not me. I am good motivated. I just,
Oh God.
I want to put a positive energy out on this world. Money is nothing to me. I have a roof over my head and food in my stomach, and that's really all I care about. And I have a lovely dog to kiss on. That's it. And I want my kids to be happy, my grandkids to be happy. I want the world to be happy. I've said that time and time again on my videos. Money is not what makes me happy. That's not my motivator. If someone were to come at me today and be like, I'll give you $1 million to talk bad about Gypsy, That is just not going to happen. That's never going to happen. I I respect where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. I am.
Do you notice that Gypsy only surrounds herself with people that are going to simp for her and be her bulldog, so she doesn't have to be the one to go out there and fight for it? She has other people do it herself.
Literally.
I also, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think that one reason she is attracted to Ken is because she likes the mom. Does that make sense? With Ryan's, I don't think Ryan's mom liked her.
No. Well, yeah, because if somebody rides for you that hard and puts on rose-colored glasses, I might like them too.
Right.
A person that can look at every angle and respect every angle. And I get it. I get it. I just also get from a mother's perspective, from an older mom's perspective, how this girl could have been so manipulated. And yes, she's getting out. And yes, she's making mistakes. But I can give her the grace to make those mistakes. It's okay. She will learn if we give her the time and the therapy. She's actually not, to my knowledge, calling anyone. They're just in
So
her
here's the
face.
thing. If I don't know if you know this, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Christy was the one taking pictures of her at the dollar store, and they agreed on sending it to TMZ. So she is very much, and also that TMZ photo of her and Ken at the restaurant, that was a selfie picture taken with her phone.
You know, I didn't know that.
How did they get that picture? Like, if you look at the picture, she took the picture with her phone. She is selling these pictures and then saying, I want privacy. Like, it's if you say you want something, you have to follow through with that, right?
I kind of believe her that she doesn't know this. Like,
But you could
uh-huh.
tell in those photos that that was a clear selfie.
Oh,
Like, it was a
absolutely.
clear.
All of
They
those
were
photos,
smiling in the camera. Like, who do you think gave that to TMZ?
TMZ was not hiding in the bushes at just the right time to snap these fucking pictures. And for her to be that naive, because I think she's telling the truth that she didn't know, Chrissy or Gypsy or whoever was sending in these photos to TMZ. Like, she's that dumb or naive. I'll be nice. She's that naive.
Right. I mean,
Right.
I think she was being naive, but I think that it was extremely obvious because that was definitely a selfie picture of them at the restaurant.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading the chat.
It was definitely a selfie picture of them at the restaurant. Like, you could see that came
Uh huh. Of them at the
like, and they
restaurant.
were
Have I
literally
seen that
smiling
one?
into it.
Uh huh. I'm trying to remember which picture you're talking about.
Google Gypsy and Ken
Okay.
uh, caught in Louisiana. You'll see that selfie
Okay.
picture of them in the restaurant.
And now that she can't post on social media, I think that's another reason she's got all these people out here joining panels, simping for her. Uh,
I don't
and
think it's that she can't post on social media. I think that's the excuse she used. I actually don't believe it
Mhm.
at all.
Well, no, because she has a Facebook, and
She
is
still has a
her
TikTok and she's making public comments. I don't
oh
believe that at all.
no, but you think it was
I think she's a liar, flat
oh
out a liar,
absolutely,
and has
absolutely. But
lied.
did she take her TikTok, her social media down because she couldn't handle it, or
No, she did it because she knew that she could get paid more for people to want to see what's going on.
right?
TMZ is not following Gypsy. Gypsy is
No.
literally a, in the grand scheme of things, Gypsy will be a nobody in a year.
You think so?
TMZ, well, she might be in prison. I don't think she'll last that long out here in these streets.
No. And well, this whole thing with her trying to claim that she was abused and wanting a restraining order and what was the other thing? Spousal support. Do you think that could turn around and slap her right in the face? Like, why are you?
I think whatever attorney she has is just throwing stuff at the wall.
Hmm.
But I think she needs to be careful because this situation is playing out in the public and they could really get him.
Yeah.
Gio's crying because he wants ice cream from my mom.
Oh,
So just know he's
Barry,
not
give
being
that
abused.
baby some ice cream.
Yeah.
Your
But I
actions have
just
to
think it's all
line up with
lies.
what you're.
Just the whole everything.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
social media thing I really think is a lie. At first I believed it, but the more and more I think about it, I'm like, nah, this is all lies.
Well, yeah, because her parole officer didn't tell her to get off social media. Like he suggested it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. I think she will crank back up that social media as the closer that it gets to the Lifetime premiere.
Now, I don't think she wants the heat based off of the
She
messages
wants
that
the
she sent
attention.
me. I think she can't handle people talking. Because you have to think it's not just people. When this series airs, way more people are going to be speaking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said people aren't going to like me for what I do in the beginning, but hopefully by the end they'll see the growth. Ma'am, nobody's going to see the growth because you've still been a demon all through this. Okay.
Do you remember in the text messages with her and Nick, and they talk about it several times about how she has these little freakouts. She's always apologizing to him in the text. She's like, "I'm sorry, I had another one of my freakouts," and then he talks about her little freakouts. So I'm hoping we see more of. To me, that's the real Gypsy. She's,
Yeah.
she puts on this. I'm just a sweet, innocent girl who made a mistake and I'm learning from all of my mistakes. But when those cameras are off, I bet she is an asshole. She's an asshole and a bitch.
Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, I don't know how her and Christy making it in that little 1300.
They're not going to. I have a feeling those two are going to be going at it. Power struggle.
They have to.
You're saying,
Hmm.
right? And had her actions, because you honestly, you never listen to anything anyone says, but you watch the actions of that person,
Mm-hmm.
right? And her actions have said something completely different. And here's the thing, I get it. Gypsy's getting to the bag. Okay. I'm not mad at her. But be upfront about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Maybe
you're getting to the
I'm
bag,
naive
girl,
to
get to
that.
the bag.
I've not been privy to that information. And if that's the case, even still, I would say, well, I mean,
Be
that's the case. Even still, I would say, well, I mean, I'm like you. I can't be mad. You got to pay your bills. But I wasn't privy to that. No, I
The
wasn't.
bills she want Ryan to pay.
Um,
And I don't think Ken is either because Ken was very adamant when I spoke to him that there was no picture. He doesn't know how,
yeah, he was
like,
that way with me as well.
and I don't truly believe that he Ken knew. And I felt like that based on how he said what he said and how he said it. And I just remember, and I'm being completely honest with you, after I got off the phone with Ken, I felt so heavy because I felt here.
You talked to Ken on the phone?
Yes, girl.
I didn't know that. What happened?
Yes, this
When?
was not this past. Thursday, the one before this.
So after they had gone on Natasha's and all of that?
I spoke to him on his drive home from Louisiana to Dallas.
Wow. What did he say?
He wants, people to give her a chance and let her make the mistakes that she's going to make mistakes, and he feels like she should have an opportunity to do so. And
It's so strange to me that he would call you just to say, I don't get it.
yeah, not my real number. Is a Google
Right,
voice
but like that
number.
he felt the need to reach out to someone on social media to put out there the
I don't
same thing that
think.
this woman's saying, which is show her grace, let her make mistakes.
Well, he had already said in Natasha's live that he was hoping that he would be able to change my mind. He already had said that.
Okay, I missed that
Yeah.
part.
In fact, he had invited me out to have a drink at the bar that he works at, but I was not comfortable with that.
You're in Texas too, right?
Yeah,
So am I. Where is he at in Texas?
Dallas.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I think his
Hearing his
sisters are in Austin.
Oh.
words, I knew he believed every word that he was saying.
Yeah, same here.
And for
I
me,
never said I believed every word he was saying.
like
I
Mhm.
said
just seeing
he
it
believed
play
every
out in
word he
real
was saying.
time
Yeah.
and him, I think for me, anyone, it would bother me for me to ride so hard for someone to only know that it's not what it looks like.
Hmm.
And
But
that's my
you you're a Christian, right? And when Christ came back from the dead, when he was Easter, that's what Easter was about. When he rose, the first person he asked for was Judas to say, "I forgive you," right?
hmm
And he did that because he knew Judas was coming from a moment of desperation and maybe was fooled by the other people that tricked him into turning him over.
Dear
And
God.
so when Christ rose from the dead, he came back to say, where's Judas? I want to forgive him. I want to let him know he's forgiven. And and so I want to give Gypsy that same grace. She's going through um, the moments of freedom, her first real taste of freedom.
You are on mute.
I don't
I don't know how to unmute you. Oh, she might be.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Echo. Right. Okay. Yes, that's better.
Yeah, I don't hear the background either.
Yeah, no, this is better. Yeah, so I think um so here's the thing. Do you think it's unlimited forgiveness? Do you think it's unlimited I, I just feel like if there's zero improvement, zero. Like, and that's crazy to me. I feel like if you, after serving 8 years, you get out, you might not know all the ropes. You might not know everything, and you might not do everything right, but you're going to at least try.
So your question is there zero?
Uh-oh. What happened?
Or you believe them,
Right.
right? But so how many times do you let someone run over you or whoever with a car and then say, you know what, I'm not gonna let them run me over with the car again. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point there has to be a, a boundary. There has to be
A line in the sand.
and then at that, okay, best example is if your child is constantly stealing from you, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, you know what? I want to trust you, but you keep stealing, right? It comes to a point where you know what? You start locking your kid out of the room when you're not home, and then after, they have to prove because it's them that did it, right? They are out having to prove who they are, right? And Gypsy's saying she wants the public to give her a chance, but all her actions have said otherwise. So at this point, don't ask for anything, just prove it. But when you're still doing things and saying that that's not what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because Ken has been honestly very honest. In fact, I think he said stuff that he didn't even realize Gypsy lied about, and he was telling the truth, and it was conflicting, right? Like I think he really didn't even know that, right? And it makes me look at the situation like, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like she has things going on. Like you're in the middle of a divorce, you kind of have to be careful because you can't say too much, but then you also don't have to say anything at all. It didn't have to be public that Ken was out there. It didn't have to be,
Right.
right? She made it a public thing.
I mean, I'm not aware of her making, you may be more privy to that than I am. But I mean, what I can say to the unlimited thing, as a parent, like you proposed, that girl has been free, really free for what, 4 months? Months here. So December 28th, she got out. January, February, March. We're not quite to April 28th, so less than 4 months. And having, like I mentioned before, never experiencing the true, real growing up.
Well, then all she should have done was come out of prison and lived a normal life and not shoved everything in the public's face, went on a press junket in New York and blah, 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 all this TMZ article bullshit. She should have just went under the radar and grew as a person like a normal person would. I can't with the excuses.
Up of things with
But his mom is
external
not going to hold her accountable to that.
figures in her
No,
life.
not at all. All she does is make excuses for everything. There's no accountability.
Zero.
And she can't understand that. And you're like trying to tell her in every way possible.
And she's not
Being
getting it. Like
permitted.
I don't know
No.
if it was willful or what, but I just was kind of like, okay. It came to a point where I knew it didn't matter what I said. She was going to have more excuses than O.J. Simpson's attorney in that trial. And it just didn't, it didn't matter.
She's been free 8.5 years in state prison.
And majority of the people in here are the people that I've known forever in here. Old Natasha Cooper makes a appearance towards the end of this, and that was interesting. She kind of went up there and called the mom out. What's her name? Raina? I think.
Was her closest to freeness, and then in the world 4.5 months. So can I grant some mistakes for her? 4.5 months? Yeah, 3.5 months.
Hey, Life Rewinded.
Yeah, I can.
Hey, Samara.
I can. I just feel like I mean, that's me though. I'm a very look at the good in a person. Give the benefit of the doubt, give them time to learn and grow. I have had kids who have made mistakes and they have come out on the other side. I've known people, adults, as I was growing up that made mistakes that came out on the other side. And I think Gypsy can absolutely come out on the other side if we just show her a little grace and let her make a few mistakes.
Okay. This tells me before she came up here, because she's repeating herself at this point. So her agenda on coming up here wasn't to give Gypsy any accountability, was not to be very genuine, or, it was just spur of the moment that she happened to come in your chat and decided to come on a panel. I think her agenda was to come up here and push the narrative that Gypsy should be shown grace, and we should all allow her that and allow her to make mistakes, and I guess not have an opinion about it. I don't know. But it's obvious to me that that's the only reason she came up here, was to just repeat these things about giving her grace. All right, we'll give her some grace. How about that? Tell her to come back to social media. Tell her to come back. Tell her to come show us how great she's doing.
As long as they are not the mistakes that the one biggest mistake she made in her past, yeah, I think I can give her a little grace on that. I do. I don't expect the world to, but I can. I mean, that's just me. I think she can,
I don't know,
with
Miss.
therapy and the right people in her life and the right influences in her life, she could end up being a great person. I think her soul,
I think the opposite, Christina. I don't think Christy would get along with this lady at all. I think Christy has to be in control, which is not going to go well.
really do believe, and that's having met her in person, okay, not just reading comments and other people's opinions. Having met this girl in person, I believe the bottom of her soul is
Hey, Vicky. Uh-oh, what happened?
okay. Okay.
I know that Ken has said to me he's well versed in her case, right? Now look, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. All I can go off of is what I have seen, the facts, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of things that she has said that there's lots of conflicting things about that, right?
Right.
Even up until the time that she was essentially arrested,
Mm-hmm.
right? Before her mother was unalived, were you aware that she was very sick?
I know,
Boston.
only
You know it.
not at the time. I didn't know Gypsy at the time. I did not know her at the time of all this. My son reached out to her after watching the documentary on HBO, so I didn't know her at the time. Since then, I have learned her mother had gout and diabetes. Well, let me tell you, so did my mother. And it did not render her bedridden 24/7. My mom slept a lot. She did go to bed early with gout and diabetes, but it didn't render her bedridden 24/7.
Oh, interesting,
So
Misha.
also,
Mishi.
I have a question. Have you ever, at any point, seen this? Can you see it now?
So it says live paused. We'll be back soon. Oh yeah, I saw that. That was in the HBO documentary. That was for Nick.
Again, I just want to point out that every reference that she has about Gypsy or her story comes from a documentary or a show or whatever. sounds to me like she has done no looking into the actual facts of the case or the interrogation at the least.
You do know that this was actually framed in her home.
Yeah, I saw that. That was in the HBO documentary.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
This was actually framed in her
Framed? It was framed? Like in a picture? Like a picture frame? What?
home.
yeah, I saw that. That was in the HBO documentary. I chalked that up to again just naivety. I mean, she wasn't raised like you and I were,
No,
Nina.
I get that, but question: were you aware that when she took a plea deal, that they dropped fraud charges against her?
I was, yes. I mean, they had to. It was all really her mom. I
Oh,
mean,
Lord.
I know that I can sound very, uh,
And I get. I mean, yes, you. I, I think we can both say that you're biased, and I understand why. I do. And I
believe it or
and
not, it's not for Ken. It really, before Ken ever even reached out to Gypsy, I was on Gypsy's side in just that, my God, the horror she suffered. I, you have children, Nina. Can you imagine you raising your children? Children do what their parents say to do. But you're a normal person, right? You have normal mind, sound mind, brain. Okay, but I don't think Dee Dee did. I think that Gypsy was her little um, money meal ticket, and I think Dee Dee had a lot of mental illness as well. And I'm not going to talk bad about the dead. I'm just not. She had what she had. She had gone through what she had gone through. Gypsy came to her from her womb. Are you kidding me? She raised her to be manipulative, lying, deceitful, murderous even. Dee Dee killed her own mom.
Allegedly.
with that
I
being
don't
said,
expect Gypsy to come out of this immediately being this amazing sunshine of Christ. She's got to go through and learn her own way. She's going to make mistakes. She's going to stumble. And just as a mom, I'm going to give her the grace, as Christ would teach me to not throw a stone unless I am, without sin. I'm going to let this girl, she is not even quite 4 months into
but
reality here.
so at what point will you hold her accountable for the decisions that she makes?
I hold her accountable to this day. From day one, I hold her accountable. That's
Doesn't
not what
sound
I'm
like
saying.
it.
I'm saying,
I'm saying that because I hear where you're coming from. I do. I truly do. But if the same grace that you're giving her has not been extended to Nick at all,
no, I agree.
at
And I
all,
am all for
at all.
giving
And
Nick some help too.
and furthermore,
Sunshine of Christ.
at the end of the day, Gypsy is
Hey,
still
Kim.
doing the same things. And do I feel like she would commit this particular crime again? I can't say that one way or another, right? Because I don't, but based off of her track record, it wouldn't surprise me. But I, everything's calculated. And even the messages that she sent me were very calculated. Very.
Mm-hmm.
If she had never sent those messages, maybe I would feel different. But reading through those messages, it was extremely calculated.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, I'm not privy to the messages. And even if I were, I would still say Gypsy's less than I don't know who's really writing her messages. And I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and swear to God because I don't know. I don't know the future that um she's not some evil calculated person as some may think, but I'm betting just because I think that she's not some evil calculated person. I mean, I have
Because you're
seen
being
people say
manipulated, ma'am.
to others, I have medical proof that she didn't really go through all the things she went through. I have medical proof. And we have said, okay, show it to us. Oh, I was sworn off of that, so I'm not going to show. And then my son,
And no, it's been shown. It's been talked about. It's been read. It's out there, lady. Raina, Miss Raina. The info is out there. She did not have all these things done to her.
actually challenged me on the same person saying that she had proof that I talked crap about Gypsy. And I've never talked crap about Gypsy, and I know I won't. I think Gypsy was really failed in life. And I think we have got to, I do, we don't, you don't. I'm not going to say you do or the world does. I am going to give her grace and let her learn. And I am going to really hope the best for her that she can learn. But saying that I talk crap about her, I've never talked crap about her.
I
And I
I
challenge that person, show me the proof. Well, I don't have to show you the proof. Okay, well then why are you talking this? Why are you talking it? You can't show the proof. I never talked. Oh, sweet baby.
now that I to me, if you don't have the actual proof or you haven't shown the proof.
I don't know, Lanky. A lot of people think that it is money motivated. I personally have no idea because I don't know these people well enough to make that assumption yet. Not yet. We shall see. Time will tell.
Then there's really not much to say at the end of the day. Um, but where I feel I'll pose this question to you. In 2-3 years, what happens when Gypsy does something similar to Ken? Will you still pose that same grace?
You use the word when, and I'm going to turn that into if.
My ball. Oh no, it's stuck in the tree.
We don't know. I mean, no, none of us know. So when versus if she were to what? Son in a murder, that would never happen. He would never come back. Or what if or when she left Kenan for the next guy? That I could see just because I think Gypsy, when I met her,
All I need to do is walk the
get
ball.
out and date. And I told my son the same thing.
No,
And
Lanky,
let
he's a
us go date.
bartender.
Let her live her life. She is very stunted. She needs to get out there and experience the world. And you need to be her John Lennon. If you want to be in
Her
this
John.
girl's
What
life,
does
you need to be
that
her John
fucking
Lennon.
mean? What she said, and I am a Beatles fan through and through. But what does that mean? You need to be her John Lennon. What the fuck? Give peace a chance? I don't know.
You need to let her go out there and experience it, and you need to be her softball.
What?
And so far, that is what he is trying to be.
But they're just
Just
friends.
her friend.
Oh, I don't believe that
I
at
am
all.
not oblivious to the fact that they have ever been intimate.
Let it be.
I've never asked my son that. I wouldn't. That's
Well,
kind of
right. I mean, I'm sure.
like gross.
Exactly,
I know, he
Lanky.
is being a
Does that mean that she's Yoko? Because that makes sense.
friend to her, and I am supportive of that. And years down to you said 2-3 years down the road, if she unalived, I don't think that's
No, I would never even put that out there. I am saying if
she were to leave Kenan high and
or,
dry
or have those same ways about her.
in 2 or
And
3
then
years.
at what point do you like? At what point do you say, yeah, no, this is like at what point?
I mean, it would be at the point that she, I realized there was no good left in the girl, but I am so far from that point because I talked to her.
So I do have this question for you.
Okay.
We know, and maybe you don't, that when people come out of prison, they come out with a good talk game.
Yes, I do know that. The quickest way to meet Jesus is jail. Yeah, I know that.
There's more of a likelihood of that, to be honest, especially considering her track record she's been out. Mm-hmm. Right? Again, like I said, has anyone expected her to come out and be perfect? No. But we also haven't expected her to come out and make a whole mockery of the judicial system.
Facts.
She made a mockery of the judicial system. I'm curious.
By profiting off her crime, number one.
Even the things she said about her court case.
It was how she really didn't identify as a murderer.
Yeah, ma'am, you are. Right. It doesn't matter how you identify. I could say I identify as a white woman. At the end of the day, I'm still black.
Right.
Like I could identify as whatever I want to identify as. But the reality is, what am I? Right. Her saying that
we are living in a world accountability where identify as anything. I mean, we're talking about what we identify as. I mean, transgender, they're allowed to identify as anything.
How did we get here? What?
In the woke culture of all. I mean, we have to accept that. We have to.
Is she comparing Gypsy not identifying as a murderer to transgender? Is that what just happened here? Hey, Snake.
And says I identify as the opposite sex of.
That's also not a crime, right? Like,
you're right. It's not criminal.
It can't be. It's not one and the same. Like it's.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not one and the same. And I agree with you on that. I'm just saying that there are I don't remember her name, but that she was charged with all kinds of crimes because she ran the NAACP back the same year Caitlyn Jenner
what are we talking about?
It was the same year.
Happening?
This girl Rachel something who was come to find out.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Rachel Dolezal, is that who
she would say? I don't identify because she wasn't the one who actually put the knife in.
Right? If in this particular situation, in this exact same situation,
did she just bring up Rachel Dolezal? Is that who she was referring to? Like, what just happened?
If Gypsy was not in this situation, would Dee Dee be here today? In this exact situation, just in this situation, we are referring to Dee Dee, Gypsy, and Nick. If Gypsy was
not transgender, none of that. We're sticking to the facts.
Would Dee Dee be alive today?
You really want to know my opinion on that, Nina?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I do believe Dee Dee would be here. I do. I don't believe Gypsy would be.
That Gypsy would have been.
I don't think she would have.
Because Munchausen by proxy, she was never diagnosed with that. I don't know if you're aware.
Because it wasn't Munchausen by proxy.
And Munchausen by proxy, a child with that has a parent with Munchausen by proxy does not even normally make it to 10. She made it to 24. And she was out here taking Hot Pocket pictures.
Hot Pocket.
So she would have been here.
Dee Dee would have, but I think Gypsy would have eventually aged out. I think a Gypsy would have eventually made her mother stop shaving her head. She would have eventually said the wrong thing, and then Dee Dee would be here crying her eyeballs out.
If that would have happened, right?
That's
was she in imminent danger at the time that her mother was alive?
No.
Yes, I do.
Oh my.
I do. I don't think any mother in their right mind would do what they did to their child. Would you, Nina? Would you shave your child's head and make her take medicine?
Well, she just You hear the tone of her voice changed real quick.
You don't think at 23 years old, Gypsy had anything to do with this?
I
You
do. I
think
do.
she
I
was
think she did.
okay
But
with
I also think that they lived in a small town
Oh God.
and that she was declared mentally the R word, right? And that no one would
No,
have
she
listened to her
wasn't.
because I have a couple daughters that live in small towns, and that is a different world. That is a different world.
So
That is the good old
are
boy
you
system.
I can't. The good old boy system. Okay, the fact that she lived in a small town just further tells me personally, in my opinion, and allegedly, that okay, one thing about a small town is everybody's in everybody else's business. Especially if you're living in something like a Habitat for Humanity neighborhood, I would think everybody would be in everybody's business. And you want to tell me that Gypsy was out and about walking without a wheelchair? She was caught with Dan. There's several instances where people admit that they saw her walking. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. A little side note. That Gyp, that like the neighbor Aaliyah and whatever her mother's name is. I don't believe for a second they didn't know Gypsy could walk. Maybe. Maybe. I don't want to say 100%, but
And that is a very different world. They were not living in Kansas City, Missouri. They were not living in a big city like I live in Austin. I've lived in Atlanta, like you. I grew up in Georgia. I lived in Atlanta most of my life. I was asked recently to move to a small town in Kansas, and I very eagerly told that person, no, thank you. I enjoy my
oh, okay.
constitutional
Lover of the
rights
law.
because once you get in that good old boy system, okay, we all know it.
What does that
And
mean?
Gypsy lived in a very small town, and she was declared, and even if she had tried to speak out, they would have immediately shut her down. Like I said, we are coming at you and I, and the world can come at it with the perspective of what we would do, having grown up with peer influence, with teacher influence, with other
Oh my
parental
God, my
influence, with
face.
reverend.
What?
My face.
What do you mean?
My face looked like what the hell?
I missed it. I missed it. I was looking down. I was trying to think what or look up what the hell she's talking about. This good old boy. What is she referring to?
Preacher, priest, you name it, influence. This girl had one influence and one influence only, and that was her mother. And her mother was very sick. I'm not saying she was
Right,
evil
DV.
or demonic or anything like that. I'm saying she was sick. And she had her under a clamps that none of us can ever understand. We really cannot truly understand it.
So I feel as if, and I would love for you to reflect
Right,
back on this
Kim.
5 years from now. And the reason why I say this is because every single thing that happened, although she was 23 years old, and there's all these red flags, it's as if you're going through them and saying it was a carnival. Like I feel like you're not giving her accountability, and this is why she's not taking accountability, because the people around her have enabled her and said, oh, she's been abused, and still say she's been abused, and that's why she does what she does. At some point, there has to be some accountability, and I think it's unfair for anyone to constantly not hold her accountable. It's one thing for you to say you're holding her accountable, but it's another thing for you to actually truly hold her accountable. Example, like I said, she has sold these pictures to TMZ, despite of what she's told Ken or what she's told you. You can look at those pictures and know either. So if she didn't, Ken did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's be 100%, and we're gonna still disregard it and say, oh well, she was abused. That's why she did that too.
Hey,
like, at
Nicole.
what point do you say that? And the more you say that is the more you enable her, and the more she will continue with that and run with that. Because until someone says to her, you know what, you need to get it together, you no longer can make these excuses. You are aware of what's going on in life, and everything in life is about decisions, and every action there's opposite and equal reaction.
Right.
Because nobody.
Just for clarification purposes, I have it sped up to 1.25 just so people know it's a little sped up.
Is saying these things and holding her accountable to this. This is why she has continued, because everyone continues to make excuses for her. At what point do you hold her accountable? And that, whether you're a Christian or not, you also their
Huh?
actions. And in the Bible, they speak about actions, right?
Yes.
Her
Yep.
actions say something else. And I feel like your heart is in the right place and you want things to be okay. And
Well, yeah.
I know that your heart is in the right place, but you're at this point you're enabling her. You
Mhm.
are, and it
Well,
comes to a point where you have to truly hold her accountable. Otherwise,
Preach,
nothing will ever change.
preach, facts, enabling, perfect. Glad you threw that out there because that's exactly what's going on here is a shit ton of enabling.
Change. She
Girl,
will
I couldn't
continue
keep
to do what
listening to
she's
that
doing,
because it
and
was
yes,
kind of
somebody else.
starting to annoy me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, ma'am, I have let you talk in circles long enough. And I
Yeah.
feel like you're not holding her accountable for anything. You have excuses for everything that she does. And she's grown. So
Had you
still.
had contact with her before this?
No.
So she just happened to come in and decide
And
out of the
ask,
blue
she
to
said,
come
do
on
you want to
camera.
chat? I'm going to be
Okay.
honest with you. I think Christy Blanchard put her up to it.
Or
I,
Gypsy.
and I feel like Christy Blanchard did it to see, because a lot of the stuff that she said and threw in there were
Uh-huh.
things that
Okay.
Bree had
Okay.
tried to use to have me canceled and Ryan previously. So I think this
Mm-hmm.
was just where they were trying to follow up with that to see if they could have had me overreact or get upset, if that makes sense.
Okay. And somebody had put in here that Raina had commented on Christy's, or no, Christy commented on Raina's last post, and I went and looked, and she did.
Yes, she
So
did. Yeah, she did.
interesting, very interesting.
Yep.
Else will be in a body bag if she continues
yeah.
because she's manipulative. She may not do it, but somebody else will do it for her because she
Mhm.
is continually manipulating. And I'm
Exactly.
not saying that to be mean or rude. I am
No, I don't
saying
take
that
it that
based
way.
off of her
I mean,
actions.
you're speaking your heart. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I truly feel if she had more people in her life that were holding her accountable, this would be a different story today.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I go back to she's been free, what, 3.5 months? I mean,
Oh
you
my
you throw
God.
your question was in 5 years. I mean, if obviously if in 5 years we're still dealing with the same things, I would sing a different song, right? I'm coming at the perspective of now today. We're
Right,
three
but
and a half months out. Let's
agree or
give her the
But she hasn't known Gypsy for 3 months and she's been out of prison. Her and Ken got together in like what 2019.
Yeah.
She's known her a long time, and wouldn't she have something to show us that was so honorable that she's changed? Some
Oh,
proof?
yeah, yeah, she does. She got her GD.
Okay, yeah.
And that's
Congrats.
sarcasm. That's
Which also proves, though, that she's not mentally stunted.
literally.
Yeah.
grace.
but also 8 years incarcerated. You don't
You're
say to
right.
yourself,
8 years
but
incarcerated.
8 years was enough time for you to hold yourself accountable.
And well,
She has held herself accountable.
when I met her, she very much did. When I met her, she was still in prison and she very much did.
She
I think
spoke
when
a
she
good
got
game.
out,
She
there
came
were
out.
people like Joyce Meyer and from The View, and they were telling her, "Oh, well, you didn't really do it," and she kind of went along with that. But I mean, when I met her, she very much held herself accountable.
But that is prison promises, right?
You're right. It very
When
well
she
could be.
came out would have been when she was able to walk that talk. She has not walked any of that. And to this day, at this very moment, she still has not. And until
Mm-hmm.
everybody around her, including her family, holds her accountable, this situation is just going to get worse. And
I mean, I can see where you're
the
coming
writing
from.
is on the wall.
But let me ask you this, Nina. One of the most amazing things a person can ever do in their life is show humility and say they're wrong. I mean, don't we
No.
respect the person when they come around and go, "I'm wrong"? Because I can say that I've been wrong. I've been wrong a lot in life. And so, if in
You
five
wrong
years
right
from
now,
now this
man. So
girl
you
were
have
to
to
get
Right.
say
together,
it.
and she were to show true humbleness and admit she was wrong, would you, Nina, be able to go, I respect that?
She would have to, her actions would have to be the thing to line up with that.
Exactly.
And you don't, and and I, it is not me being a Debbie Downer. It is, okay, for example, anything that you go off of as an adult, right? If you are going to go get a car, whether you can get it or not is going to be based off of your credit history, right or wrong, right? And it's not if, oh, okay, well, somebody made her go buy another car and this is why she did. No, it is whether or not you have the credit, and based off of the history of what you have been able to do or not do is what it's going off of.
Absolutely.
It's the.
But you asked me if Gypsy were to reoffend, or in 5 years from now, at what point could I say, I give her no more grace, I'm done with her? And I'm just asking you, at what point, what would it take for you to go, wow,
Her actions to this day is not lining up with what she's saying.
Well, yeah, she's been out 3.5 months.
Hey, I have a quick story for you guys.
Hear these excuses? They're driving me nuts listening to this.
I know. So this next part, because I haven't watched this back since it happened, is basically her. So should we watch this part or skip to Natasha?
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Which part?
No, just play it. Don't.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Skip to Natasha because I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, because this part just is her and that girl just talking basically. All right, let's see. All right. We'll skip to about right here.
Develop truly, fully, just as I would my teenager who was facing, by the way, 40 years to life. And I stood before a judge myself. I stood against her defense attorney who was telling me, yeah, she's going to get the best we can do is 20 years served. And I stood against them and said, okay, well, let's get this defendant, this person who wants to testify. And that's a different subject for a different day because that was my own family, okay? And I'm not going to put that out there. I'm just saying, you, Nina, you have young kids. Teenagers will take you through a whirlwind. Sometimes not. I had other teenagers that Ken, no problem. He was a great kid. He worked from the time he was 15 years old. That man worked. My other son, Trace, mechanical engineer, graduate of UT, didn't pay a dime, full scholarship. Okay.
Sour girl.
My oldest daughter.
So good to see you.
Had troubled times, but came through it and is an amazing, broker and makes good money. And her and her husband are doing amazing. They have 3 great kids. I have 10 grandchildren. I have 11 there. And grace through a divorce. It was very hard for me to go through a divorce. Heart, I will tell you, is true, 100% true. Heart, and I'm not comparing. I would never compare myself to Christ. But my heart,
well, you kind of
I will tell you, is true, 100% true. And I give people the benefit of the doubt. My mother did not. My mother would, I used to tease her and say, Jesus Christ himself could show up at your door and you would make fun of his sandals. And let me tell you, she could not stand Gypsy. She could not stand her. She said she would turn over in her grave if my son ever was to marry this girl. Okay, so when you talk about conflict, yeah, it's there in our family. But I am a person that believes in the positive.
What was it that made her mother say that? I just would love to know why they are very anti-Gypsy.
I don't think she'll ever admit that part.
I don't know. I don't understand her need to defend her, I guess. Like, why? I think it really bothers them that people have a negative outlook on her. Like, I don't care what they show me. Nothing will change my mind on how I feel about her.
No, yeah, there's nothing. Sure, nothing.
It really bothers them, though. They don't like it.
perspective and that people really can. It might take them years. You said your name was Patricia. I'm sorry, I'm really horrible with names.
It's Pamela.
Pamela. Pamela, your daughter can absolutely turn it around. Your daughter, her brain is not developed yet. Okay.
Oh, I know.
The same thing you're saying right now. Things took her a while and she went through some things, but now
I do understand what you're saying, but you also need to understand I have children much older than her too. I have a pet, you or your
Okay, so they're kind of just talking about their kids.
but
Oh, here
everything
comes
too. I
Natasha.
mean, I've taken 6
Like
children
a wrecking
and
ball.
I've literally stopped my life to make everything good for them. I do everything. But sometimes the grace isn't enough. And we get hurt. And we continually get hurt.
But I think we're just speaking too soon. I just
I hope that you're right.
give this girl, God bless America. She's been out 3.5 months. Can we give her 3 years? Can we give her 5 years?
I don't know if that's a chance I would feel comfortable taking with my family.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's the only thing. I mean, it's not that we're not being supported. I feel like I'm trying to support you as a mother. I mean, I'm 53 years old. I'm not a child.
Well, you and I are the same age, sweetheart.
I have the children. I have I've lived the life. I mean, I'm not sheltered, and you know, I am constantly. I do for everybody before I do for myself. I say all the time, my kids look beautiful. I look like crap every day, but my kids look good. I mean, I'm doing braids. I'm doing things. My hair's in a ponytail, and I'm wearing sweats every day. That's okay with me. I do for everyone. My friends, they are my friends for life. I mean, my husband, I've been married for 27 years. I'm a good-hearted person. I am being supportive of you.
Well,
100%, because I feel for you. I've watched your videos and my heart just goes out to you because people like me, which I think you kind of are a little, we don't see around the corner sometimes.
Well, you're right. We can never see it. I'm not a psychic. I can't see around the corner.
Oh my gosh. I just didn't realize how bad this was.
He's a great man.
What do you mean?
And he tells me that.
Like now hearing it back,
Too much. You're losing.
I feel like the whole time I didn't realize how passive she was.
Mm-hmm.
And dismissive. I really didn't realize it.
I feel she came up for one reason only, which was to push this. You know, you guys need to show grace. Y'all basically
and she got
talking
nowhere and ended up making herself look horrible.
Yeah.
Like, so it was literally, she achieved absolutely nothing.
I wonder what, there had to be a reason she felt compelled this
telling
night.
you, it's Christy Blanchard. Christy Blanchard is just as much of a manipulator as Gypsy and her mama was. Rod got a type, and his type ain't shit. Okay.
But what is the end goal of her coming on the stream?
Well, I think she thought that maybe she would be able to change my mind.
That's what I think too.
And
would have you change your Gypsy content and the people in the comment sections.
Well, too, they know I have a lot of influence, and that bothers them.
It does. It big bothers them.
Who you are. You've got to just let this be. And you're hoping too much. You hope too much. And I do. I'm always hopeful. She can beat the crap out of me. And the next day, I'm putting bows in her hair because I want her to feel pretty. I am hopeful because one day she's very kind and I'm like, okay, look what's going on. And I'm so happy and I'm so hopeful. And I know she's just 16 now. I get it. And there's still time, but it's progressively getting worse all the time. And there is a diagnosis of narcissism, which I mean, it's very evident. I get that.
So just so people know, the lady who's talking right now, she's talking about, her story was that she has children that she's adopted and, that comes with a lot of baggage. And so she's talking about one of her adopted daughters who's 16, I think.
Yeah. But I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful. I wrote it out with one of my older children who was not an easy person to deal with. And I wrote it out. And finally, I just had to say, you know what? I love you, but I'm going to love you from over here. And I'm here and I text her every other day, literally every other day. She lives in, I even said on a post that someone was talking about you. And I said, look, we need to protect this woman like we protected Betty White. I mean, she is a good soul. This is a good soul person. And I think Ken is a good person.
But he is. Being that we have been able to predict thus far, that should be a clear red flag. A clear red flag. Like,
Nina, I'm seeing the flags. That's not it.
no,
But
you're
you're
not.
also enabling.
No,
those
you're
flags.
not.
You're also saying, well, you know,
No. Name a
you know what?
flag.
I didn't realize how bad this is until now, hearing this back. Like,
Same.
I'm kind of getting annoyed.
Well, don't worry, Natasha's about to come up and bang it up.
you have been abused, and I understand why. How, like, you can't continue to do that. You're only harming her. And although you think you're helping her, you're not.
Yeah, and
Okay.
when we give people like this, like my daughter, like Gypsy, like people. No, my daughter hasn't done that, but like when we give the narcissist a little bit of grace, they take that as a power play. They take that as powerful for them. It's not like we would, if someone was kind to us, we'd be like, oh my gosh, that was so nice. Thank you for believing in me. A narcissist takes that very differently. They take that as, I got you.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. Is that
Well, I'm
you
not
and I can
naive
say,
to
well, I
that.
love people, and I just, I'm so glad people give me grace and give me kindness. I want to put that on other people, but not all people take it that way.
You're right.
And like when I do something kind for my daughter, I'm thinking, oh, she'll see that this is love. She'll see that I believe in her and I trust in her. No, she sees it as opportunity.
Mhm.
It's opportunity.
Yeah, I know that.
And that's the scary thing. And that's sometimes when we're in deep, we don't see those things.
you know, I think that we cannot predict the outcome of anyone. And
That's true.
I just hope the best. Well, I really hope, and I'm not saying I know she will because I don't know.
What is it that Dr. Phil says? The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior.
It's past behavior. You're right. I'm a big Dr. Phil
And
fan.
as much as we want to, think people change, and some do, we cannot be blind.
I want to hear what Natasha has to say, so I'd like
yes,
to give
ma'am.
her a chance to say. Natasha?
I'm here. I'm just bumfuzzled. So, Raina, you don't remember talking to me back in the day in the Facebook group?
I don't not only remember, I challenge you to show the proof because I think you were talking to my mother.
I'm gonna try to find it.
Well, please do, because I've never been anti-gypsy, but I will tell you, a Liz Williams, who was
No, it was your name. It was your name.
Oh no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I challenge you to find that.
Well, I know that people that were in the group remember it because I posted the screenshots of it. I've
well,
just got to find it.
well,
Unfortunately,
I
they
was
went away when I lost my channel, but I'm going to see if anybody has them.
I've never spoken anything ill of Gypsy. I know my mother did, who was Liz Williams, who would have been connected to me.
No, it was your name because your daughter was in there and Ken, and there were a lot of people in there. But anyhow,
Well, I have 3 daughters.
I realized that.
And I have never spoken ill of Gypsy ever. Not my style. I really will never speak ill of anyone. Really, that's not my style. You don't have anything good to say. Don't say.
Okay,
yeah, I know. Anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Yeah, that's more my style.
Oh.
So no, I think you may.
Now I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I'm trying to rock with Miss Raina, I have seen screenshots of her cursing people out on Facebook.
Really? Okay. I'm glad you told me that because I kind of wasn't believing it there for a minute.
So your mother would have had a profile with your name on it?
So she's trying to throw her mom under the bus.
She would have been Liz Williams, though.
That's awful.
Yeah. You won't find anything on that, sweetheart. I promise you, because I've never felt.
I know who I talked to and who I didn't, and I know that the people who saw the screenshots aren't, don't have dementia.
I mean,
and I'm only 48. I know exactly what the name was that I spoke to. It was in my Facebook
saying
group.
that, but you keep saying I'll find it, but you can't find it, Natasha.
I haven't looked for it. I have other things to do other than look for a screenshot. Would you let me speak for a minute? I have other things to do other than look for a screenshot of some woman who is of no consequence to me.
Well, why are you on here then?
I was asked.
Well, look for it, sweetheart. You won't find it.
Why are you on here? Why are you all over the internet giving interviews to places all of a sudden? Why are you all of a sudden Gypsy's biggest champion? Why are you all of a sudden making excuses for all of her behavior and everything that she does, past, present, and future?
Because my son is involved now.
No, your son has been involved.
Not really. Not for
yes,
5
he was.
years.
Oh, yes, he was for a very long time, which is exactly
No,
why you
2
were involved back
years.
then, and which is exactly why you were in my Facebook group. And you can say that it wasn't you all that you want to. I don't believe you, and neither does anybody else that saw it. Because
You're so
those messages,
confrontational.
I'm
You're
not
the first
confrontational
person
at
here that
all.
has been confrontational, and I'm not. I wish you
No,
the
I'm
best,
assertive.
sweetheart.
There's a
Show
big
me
difference.
the evidence.
I'm not a sweetheart, not yours, especially.
See what I mean?
I'm not fake. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
Very.
There's nothing I haven't answered here.
No, you've given the
I think you are
runaround and
fake.
talked in circles.
How do you know any of this? How do you know? Where are you involved here? I don't know you. I tried to go on one of your lives, and you said with your own mouth, I'm ignoring you purposely.
Yes, because I had no desire to speak to you after our last conversation in 2019.
Then why are you here?
I already told you. I was asked.
Okay, so show me the proof of where I talk smack about.
That's not why I'm up here.
I mean,
I told you when I find it, I'll find it.
Well, that's what you told my son about, and that's what you've said about Gypsy's medical records.
Oh, no, ma'am. I have her medical records, and I haven't said anything.
Show them.
I have shown them, just not publicly. People that know me know that I have them because they've seen them. So now you're trying to say that Christy didn't give them to me? Are you on that train? Really? That's the sword you want to die on?
I'm not on any train, ma'am.
Oh. You're on a
really
train with
I'm really not on any train.
Did you get paid for the interviews that you gave?
Do you know what I did? I talked to one person over the phone, and
Did
all I told them was that I support my son.
Did you get paid for that interview?
The whole story. And then after that, I got a few phone calls that I said no comment, and I hung up. The next thing I know, there was like, 2 articles?
And avoided the question. Nina, where did you go?
Oh, is this when your phone died?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't have to be nice. I can be respectful.
And I didn't know when your phone died.
I don't lie.
It was still on, so I thought when I came back, I would have had to add them back in. But then, so I didn't know it was going on. So when the phone cut on and I went to the bathroom, I wasn't in a rush to get back because I thought it had already went out.
Right. And TikTok doesn't save your live streams?
I do have it.
Oh, you do have the option to do that?
I turned it on Friday.
Oh, okay. It's so different over there.
Respectful is a completely different thing. I haven't said anything. What I've done is ask her hard questions, and she refuses to answer them. She's circling them as she has done the entire time that she's been up here.
What am I not answering? What's your hard question,
Did you get
Natasha?
paid for your interviews?
Absolutely not.
Okay, you
100% not. You want me to send you my bank records? That is a joke. I've never got paid for shit.
Who's upset now?
I'm laughing at you.
No, you're yelling and you just
I'm laughing at you. I've never got paid for anything.
Okay.
Anything. My son put money on her books. None of us have gotten paid for anything. That is a joke. Bet you won't play that on your little TikTok videos.
Like what on my TikTok videos? You telling?
I bet you won't say.
Paid?
I bet you won't. I can prove to you. I can prove to Nina. I can prove to anyone. I will send you my bank records that I have never gotten paid a dime for anything. My son has never gotten paid a dime. As a matter of fact, my son put money on that girl's books for 2 years. Y'all are all talking about we're in it for money. That is a joke. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Never gotten paid a dime. Wouldn't I tell you another thing?
Oh, that's when it ended.
Oh.
I wonder what she was going to tell her. I'll tell you another thing. Come back, Raina. So there
Listen,
you have it.
I don't know if I would want that type of chaos again. Because that was, I feel like even the vibes of the room was off.
Really?
Yeah, like if the comment section, you seen it, it lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yes, 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 it did. It's just the weirdest thing to me that these people jump on panels. Like with Ken and Gypsy, that was weird. That was really strange. And then she had a nose job the next morning, pretty much.
No, she had it before this.
No, when they went on Natasha's, Ken and Gypsy went on Natasha's,
Oh
and
yeah,
it was like the very
that's
next
wild.
day.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, I feel like Gypsy had all of this.
Uh-oh, you cut
His mom
out.
is missing. That I feel like Gypsy had all of this planned out, and that's another thing his mom is missing.
Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely.
Like I don't, I'm not sure how she is, because for somebody that's in the middle of a divorce and just left their husband, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't really sound like somebody that was sad. That was someone that had been abused and had, like, it's not adding up.
Mm-mm.
It's definitely not adding up. No matter what she tries to say, it's just not adding up.
Which part? The whole, all of it, or
Well, just
like the divorce and then
Ken being there so shortly after.
yeah. And they were
Um,
still filming. I thought they had ended filming and that's why this was going down, but no. No, no, no,
no,
no.
I think they're done filming now, though.
Now they are, but I didn't think we were going to have the downfall, like the, you know what I mean? The dirt, the big dirt of her leaving. I'm wondering if there's going to be a scene where she locked, because she keeps saying she locked herself in the bathroom and she was scared. I did not know that all of that was being filmed. And I didn't know when she had Ken in New Orleans or wherever it was in Louisiana that that was also being filmed because they would have wanted to film the nose job as well.
They did film the nose job.
Hmm. So they were there when she met up with Ken. And he said on Natasha's, he didn't get paid for being on Lifetime. He did one sit down interview and that was it.
Yeah, he said that. Hmm.
Yep. So very interesting how things have played out
Yeah, and I mean,
and the strings that they're pulling to it's just so weird. Because if you go back to the Vile podcast, right? Where her
uh-huh.
and Ken are sitting on the couch and not Ken, sorry, Ryan. And then the topic of Ken comes up and he's sniffing around
Yeah,
and
no, I
he
mean, Nick
called him
Vile knew.
a dumbass motherfucker
Yeah, I mean,
to and in the Vile podcast, she also says, yeah, I've had my stepmom, Christy, contact him and to get my things because she said she would order things from prison and have them sent to Ken's house or whatever so she could get them when she got out of prison. I almost find that calculating also because as soon as she got out of prison, she probably was like, I need my stuff now, just as an excuse to
no,
see
I think
him.
she wanted him to keep her stuff
so that she had a reason to see him.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
And she was lying to Ryan about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think she was manipulating that situation in and of itself.
Yep.
Can you go to Bree's page and play? Somebody just texted me and said that
Oh.
she
Uh-huh.
posted a TikTok about me.
Oh, good God. She blocked me, so I have to go on a backup account. And
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
hilarious.
said a word about her, but she's seen me somewhere enough to block me.
That's funny. She's crazy. That girl is crazy. She needs to go.
She is. And the whole narrative, you're a bully with her.
Right. When
And she
she
broke down
literally,
when I'm sorry,
she
go
does
ahead.
stuff that's bullying.
She broke down crying in the middle of a live stream. Did you see that? When that,
Uh-uh.
yeah, so she was arguing with her chat over because she simps for Gypsy. She's a Gypsy stan. She's
Right.
always, and she has none of her facts right. And people were calling her out in the comment section, and she got super frustrated and got up, didn't mute or anything. You could hear her sobbing and saying, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Oh, that wasn't a live. I think that was an
Oh, it was a
actual
live because I
video.
watched it. I watched it live.
Okay. But so
Mhm.
she uploaded it after, I
Clipped it.
guess.
She clipped it. Yes, she did.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
because I saw it go down live. And but that right there was like, why are you doing this? You're doing it because you want to stick up for Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and you're putting yourself in all this line of fire and then crying about it later.
Right, which is psychotic.
Yeah. All right, which one? Let's see. All right.
Make her disappear just like poof, then
With
she's
that,
gone.
I had to share this with y'all because I think it's so hilarious. So I'm gonna reveal my face in a second so y'all can see what I was doing all last night while Nina was talking
okay,
shit
this
about.
says, sorry, Nina. I actually have a life that I try to enjoy, so my entire world isn't consumed by drama like yours. What? Okay.
Girl, you're the one that had made a whole page obsessing over me. What do you mean?
Wait,
You're
she
weird.
made this page, or like did she make another
No,
one?
she made another page. Girl, okay,
Uh-uh.
so I was on the Tyra Banks show
I
back in
saw that.
okay, so this was, you're talking about 17 years ago. I got paid to be on the show, right? So she posted, but I had already posted that video in my TikTok. Obviously, I wasn't ashamed of it because I
Right.
posted it, right? So she created this whole page just bashing me on the page, but it linked up with her LinkedIn profile and she didn't realize it.
Oh no.
So I sent it over to my attorney, but
Uh-huh.
she also had admitted in the comments that she was the one flagging all of my content and all of that. And I'm like, I don't think you realize, because I'm a real content creator that actually makes money off my content.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
is a easy lawsuit to win.
Yeah.
Like, so it's a slam dunk. You admitted to it. It links up with your LinkedIn profile. It's a slam dunk. And
Like,
she
what would
just
you
doesn't
file?
realize.
Defamation or?
No, you're stopping my bag is what you're doing. Because once
Mm-hmm.
you start
Mm-hmm.
flagging me, it stops me in the algorithm. And if the algorithm doesn't pick it back up, I won't get paid for that video. And that she's been doing that to multiple videos.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And she's admitted she's the one flagging my videos.
Really?
Yes, in the comment section.
Wow. I don't understand why. Why?
We went live and accusing me of things that I wasn't even aware of until today. Like literally,
Yeah, right.
some
She's a
video that I
liar.
hadn't even seen until like
Psycho.
an hour ago. She accused me of posting, and then I was supposedly reporting her account.
She's
I
dumb.
do not even know y'all.
Oh,
Let me just show y'all. I was too busy yesterday. Okay, I didn't have the time to do any of the things she's accused me of, and this is why. Voila. This is what
girl.
I was doing all night, y'all. I was doing that Lisa Frank inspired eyeshadow look, like literally all night. Like, I swear, I didn't know. I'm having to hold this too, but I didn't know about any of these
Girl,
things that she's
the
accusing me
page
of. Like,
links up with your LinkedIn. Please use your head. Stop trying to be smart but being so dumb. Like she's not even intelligent enough to get away with stuff like this. So I don't understand why she even tries it. Like I don't understand. Like, girl, are you serious?
I
You
had no
literally are
idea.
not smart enough to get away with stuff like this. So you need to take that as an L and go sit down. Because you clearly don't even have common sense. The fact that your your LinkedIn profile is connected, like, come on now. Come on now. Like you can't even argue with that level of dumb.
No. And she is dumb. She's very dumb. I noticed that a long time ago.
And then when you say anything back, she gets all flustered and starts saying stuff like your brain is lonely. No, man, you the one that your elevator stopped at like the fifth floor. Okay.
So, okay, so she made this TikTok account going at you. Is that
Yeah.
right? And now
Yeah.
she
And in the
found out that you found out that it links up with her LinkedIn.
yes,
And so this is her response.
yes.
She knows nothing. She has no clue what you're
That's
talking
what she
about.
claims. Yeah, she claims that. But she'll know
how
when she's sleeping on a air mattress outside somebody's house because she can't afford to pay her bills.
Oh, shit.
she says I'm her biggest fan, but I think she's my biggest fan, y'all.
Uh-uh.
Anyways, how do y'all like my eyeshadow? This is what you're supposed to be doing. I thought, Nina. I thought you were supposed to be the beauty influencer. So why are you just always on live,
Well, you
like
can't be.
spreading?
She's crazy. This girl's bad.
It bothers me that people keep saying that lately. It's like, well, aren't you supposed to be doing makeup? When I found your channel, it is a tea channel. You
Girl, if
don't.
you see my page, in
Uh-huh.
my profile, it states what.
Oh,
In my profile, it says beauty, fragrance, fashion, true crime, and gossip. I know that Bree has a hard time reading, because she might not have the education level to comprehend, but it's all there.
mm-hmm.
And
Swinging in a
she
miss.
talks so much smack when she tries to duplicate my page, but you can never compete where you don't compare.
Hate spreading ugly things. You're supposed to be a beauty influencer, not an ugly influencer.
Oh
Like,
god.
I'm confused. That's all you do is talk shit about people constantly on live. Like, you're on live talking shit, and while I'm at home, like,
Girl,
doing a
here's the thing, I don't
makeover.
This
hide
is
about what I have to
so
say about
fake.
you.
This shit is so fake. I can almost see right through her to know that she's lying right now.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, she's slow. That girl's slow. Like, she's slow. Like, that girl literally, she has, man, it's not even a few fries short of a Happy Meal. Like, the fries is missing out the Happy Meal. Like, they forgot to put it in.
They completely left it out.
Like, that
Girl,
girl's crazy.
go do something. Go find a new hobby, girl. Find a new
Uh-uh.
hobby.
You know what? She's. It's funny because I don't need to do a hobby because I actually get paid for what I do. What you do for
Mm-hmm.
free. So imagine looking like an ass for free.
For
How about
real.
that?
While
How about
sucking
you don't
Gypsy's
even have to
ass.
get paid to look like the ass? You do it for free. I wonder how does
I
that look.
promise.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I wonder how does that feel that you out here looking crazy for free?
I
Like,
need a
explain that
response.
to me. Like, how does that feel? I really would love to understand. Like, how does it feel to look crazy for free? Because I just would never. Like, does she even have 2,000 followers? Like, girl, go sit down.
No, and she had that one page that was taken down.
Like, it's crazy,
She's being bullied.
girl.
You
First of all, when she did that green screen and was acting like she was having a meltdown, that's when I was like, okay, this girl really has some real life problems, and you can't fix that.
You're talking about the one I was that happened on the live that she clipped?
Yeah, that she
I
posted.
couldn't
Yeah.
believe she clipped it. I saw that she had
First of
done
all,
that.
why does she have a green screen, girl? You have less than 2,000 followers. What do you need a green screen for?
She was going I can't even explain how she was acting during that live before she broke down and
She was
cried.
like, "Why am I doing this? What are you
Yes,
doing? What? What are you doing? What? Like acting a fool on the internet for free? Is that what you
exactly.
doing? I don't know. You can answer that. I don't have any answers for that. I need you to actually give us an answer for that."
Think you need to
And
make a
she
video and ask.
keeps going, even though she doesn't get what. I'm gonna make a funny video mocking her, and I gotta find at least a. I gotta go buy a green bed sheet or something, hey, and clown her. That's what I'm gonna do is clown her,
Can you do your eye makeup like that too?
girl, and do the pigtails like I'm a
Yes.
toddler. Like, come on now. Like it's. And I was trying to leave her alone and not do nothing funny about her just because she's such an easy target, you know.
She is. Just like
Like
Ryan is too.
it's too
Ryan's really
easy. So
easy.
I didn't even really want to do it just because I just feel like she's too easy. But I
She
feel
is.
like at this
It's what
point
we
I
call
kind of
a
have to.
lolcow. Is a lolcow is someone that you kind of milk for laughs.
Literally, like at this point, like she'll make it too easy for me
Mhm.
to make the laughs about her. And honestly, I wasn't trying to be on her neck. I just Here's the thing: when you start messing with my bag, I'm gonna prove a point. For me, it's not even about the money; it's about the point that I'm gonna prove a fact to you that you're gonna be sleeping on an air mattress outside. Like it's the point of that to let you know to stop playing with me.
Did you
And
even
I don't
talk
think she
about
realized
her
that.
at all?
Girl, I don't
This
talk about Bree. Bree is obsessed with me.
she really is.
Obsessed. Like even if you look at her content, like she tries to be me. Literally tries to be me. Like
Yeah.
she wasn't doing makeup on her videos before, and she talks about, are you a beauty influencer, girl? Obviously, I've been doing it and doing it damn well.
Mhm. Well, she is also. I don't know because, like I said, she has me blocked, so I have to like consciously sign in to go look at her shit. But she was obsessive with fancy. Like she made jewelry that
Yeah, she
represented.
crazy.
Yeah,
That girl is a mental health patient walking outside. And if you realize it, that's exactly the type that Christy Blanchard goes after, are people that
exactly.
have mental health issues that she's able to manipulate. And when Christy Blanchard discards her like a piece of trash, you're gonna find her in the loony bin trying to get her life together.
You think it's Christy or Gypsy too? Because I know she is really obsessed with Gypsy. Like thinks that they're buds.
Well, but she met Christy first.
I know they met, but I don't know how they met.
Girl, when I tell you this is gonna be a joke, when they throw her in the trash, she gonna be over there on Ryan on 10. You think Ryan was bad?
Yeah.
Is she gonna be Ryan on 10? Like when I say on 10, because she has emotional issues. Like she's unstable.
Hmm. How did
Like,
she
and it's
meet?
apparent.
Yeah.
I heard she stalked her. I don't know if that's true because
She
this is
was
just
like
what I've heard.
waiting outside of the restaurant,
Yes, that's what I've heard.
peeking through the
I
windows.
don't know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
just telling you what I've heard. I
Word on the
can't
street.
confirm that. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. She's displayed.
No, I could totally see her doing
Yeah,
that.
she's displayed that she's crazy.
Peeping through the windows. Yeah,
No,
Ryan
literally.
Lee.
I mean, think about
I believe it.
the fact that she had a green screen. Like, girl, who are you? That first of all, the green screen, like you could see, like she took time to pin that green screen together. You know how much time that must have took? You big dummy.
What's it for, though?
Girl, I heard she has a. I don't know if this is true. This is alleged. I
Uh-huh.
heard she has a Habitat for Humanity house, which is why she don't want the
Stop
background.
it.
I don't know
What?
if that's true. I don't know if it's true. I can't confirm that. This is alleged.
Huh.
I wouldn't be surprised though, cause she don't work. She talk about she's so busy, but she busy doing what?
Making shrinky dinks, putting them on a
Busy
chain.
doing what? Please explain. She's talking about I was doing makeup all day for free. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like where you? Well, I don't know. She is special, so she could be collecting a check.
Look at this comment. The followers she's gained from Gypsy has gone to her head, now claiming to be God's chosen one. She rides behind NC, blah, blah, your makeup, yada, yada, yada. Personally, I think that you have been the smartest about going about this whole, I don't even know what you want to call it. Just how you got, the shit with Christy, the shit with Gypsy contacting you.
They're the one contacting me. I've never, unlike
Right. But
Bree,
you have
she's
said
chased them.
exactly, but you are smart enough to where you know that you don't want to get involved. Like you can tell the story without having them
No,
trying to act
they're
like they're
all
your friend.
characters. They're all
Right.
characters to me. This is
And
all
these people don't have that sense. Like they're like ambulance chasers. They want to get as
literally.
close as they can to it. And that's a big mistake. Big
Yeah.
mistake. And you've handled it like really well. I haven't seen it go to your head or whatever these people are saying. I
No,
think
because at the end of the day, this is just like my phone went dead and it was over just that quick. It's the same thing. Like when you close your phone, it's over. So the
exactly.
fact that they're taking this outside of
Yeah.
being what it is just it's crazy.
Like you said, it's not that deep.
It's not.
Exactly. It's
It's really
not
not.
that deep. Like calm down, people.
But I think they're trying to do damage control because
Yeah.
they know the show is going to make Gypsy look bad.
Oh,
They are because when I spoke to the producers before I signed any contract or anything like that or even
mhm.
negotiated, you know, I was trying to feel them out, and when the answers that they started giving me, I was like, oh, okay, so they're not trying to make this girl look good,
No,
and
probably
she knows
not.
that, and she knows that. That's why she said they have their own agenda.
Do you remember on the when the first Lifetime series came out after she was released? And Ryan picks her up from the prison and they go back to whatever the Airbnb, and then the parole officer's like, you need to get the fuck out of Missouri. Like you need to go. You need to go back to
Right,
Louisiana,
literally.
get on out of here. And she has that whole meltdown, and
Yeah.
that's how they ended it. So can you imagine the meltdowns we're about to see in this in this new series?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I can't wait. I'm not gonna lie. I am so excited.
No, it's
It's
gonna
a
be it's
series.
gonna be it's gonna be funny. She's gonna make a complete spectacle of herself.
Yes. Every
And the
time
fact
that she
that
shows herself when she's, you know what I mean? When she has
and
these
then even
documents.
showing that she's associated with Bree makes her look even worse. I don't understand why her and Christy don't realize it.
Right. I think
Like
because they're
you're literally associating with a mental health patient and trying to use them for what you need them for.
right. Like they did to, now I'm not calling her a mental health patient. I don't know what her mental health is. What was her name? Rachel Garland, the girl from
No,
prison that was
because
running her TikTok.
Christy never liked her.
Okay.
She was Gypsy's friend while she was in prison.
But she had started up Gypsy's social media,
Yes,
and
because
they were making money off of it, and she was sending that to Gypsy.
yeah.
And Gypsy, that girl named one of her children after
Mm-hmm.
Gypsy, and Gypsy was like buying the kid. The kids went to visit her in prison with the husband.
Literally.
Yes, like this girl was dedicated. She said Gypsy was her BFF for life. And then Gypsy gets out and doesn't even invite her to come to her little party that she had when she got out
Right.
and just completely threw her away, which is her pattern.
Which is what she's gonna do to Bree too. And Bree's not
Exactly.
smart enough to even catch that. And while
No.
Bree's doing,
Uh-oh. You cut out.
oh here, she's
There
putting
you are.
herself at financial risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're not gonna have the friendship either. So now you're gonna be a double idiot.
She is. She is willing to put her entire life on the line, throw herself on the train tracks of the freight train coming through for
Literally,
Gypsy. Just like
on the
Ryan.
train
Like
that started.
Ryan wanted to braid Christy's hair. Ryan wanted to love her. Just let me love you, Christy.
But I think there was more to that than just that. I think that she had a girl crush on her.
Yes. Yes.
Because who would be that obsessed with another person like that? I mean,
These
think about
people.
how quick she befriended her, and how much she was like, "Oh my gosh, Christy, Christy, Christy." No, it was it. I think truly Ryan wanted her to to love her, and she wanted,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it just she didn't realize it wasn't what she bargained for.
No, like she really thought she had made a friend for life. She had a whole meltdown in those in those text messages
Yeah, like she just. I
that she
think it was
put out
really,
herself. You're
girl,
so stupid. You put your own messages out. Like,
girl. That's when I was like, this is some crazy stuff. Anytime you start telling on your damn self,
these
crazy.
people think they're playing chess, but they're playing checkers with a
Literally, and looking
pigeon who's
crazy.
shitting on the chessboard. I
And
mean, the
everybody on
checkerboard.
the internet is out here laughing at you.
Yeah.
And then you're getting mad when somebody makes a parody over the stuff that you actually did.
I clipped her again saying that her words were that, well, if you knew if I was in a mental space like that and you made a second one, then you pretty much were just pulling the trigger, weren't you? That's what
Girl,
she said. That
listen,
she said that trigger. She said you pulled the trigger.
girl, listen. You was on here doing what you did, and I don't have a problem making a joke out of it because you pulled the trigger by constantly putting yourself on the internet.
Hmm.
If you thought you had a problem for real, why do you keep putting yourself on the internet?
And here's another thing, Ryan. If you hear this, I want to tell you this. Like, so she did a live on her birthday, and during she was just talking about her dogs and shit and gaming and chips, and that Jimmy person or whatever was there. And anyhow, she ended up ending that live stream to do what she calls a trauma dump live stream. Girl, I've been on YouTube for 4 years. That is the biggest mistake, is for you to come on this app, go live and cry. Like literally trauma dumping as content. I cannot. This is not a therapy session. This is the
No, you need
internet.
to
and
go
and
get a doctor, a real one that could help you.
yes, but like to put yourself that shit out on the internet, like what the fuck? And I could also say that about, the stuff with her adopted daughter that she put on the internet. I'm just
I,
saying.
but I don't know why she put the stuff about her adopted daughter. But I feel like, if she
Attention.
put it out there, then you have to. Once you put it to the public, you have to be ready for the criticism,
Exactly.
and you can't expect yourself to be off limits. No, like this is the internet. Nobody's safe.
One of my favorite Reddit threads is the Ryan Snark page. How about that?
No, seriously. That's right. They started a new page on Facebook called The Wambulance.
Stop. It's on Facebook now.
It's a Facebook group called The Wambulance.
They had a Discord server too.
Girl, it's hilarious.
It is. And Ryan's still big mad at me because when she was talking about Fancy, uh, which came from Bree, actually. Bree said that someone that Fancy knew in high school contacted her on Instagram and told her Fancy's personal business about having an alleged miscarriage in like 1995. And that's some bullshit. Like I could message anyone and be like, "Hey, I knew this person from high school and they did this, blah blah blah." So as an example, I said, "Well, I heard Ryan shit her pants on the bus in the
Well,
11th
no,
grade."
somebody from her high school did a TikTok about it.
About what?
Her,
Fancy?
no, Ryan.
What about it?
That she did a number 2 on herself
No, I started that.
on the bus.
There's
On
a
the
video.
bus. Yes, on the bus.
Because I totally made that up one day.
That's funny.
That's what I birthed that story.
Yeah, someone did a video about it
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to find it.
and called her, and it was Shit Stain Stacy.
Yes, yes, I've seen that. Yes. Oh, it's great. I do have this.
Hear the roar. Hear the roar. Hear the roar.
And after I fucking told you to quit,
Do it.
you keep touching me! Stop!
Hear the roar. I don't like it. I love you, Daddy.
Was that her yelling?
Yes. Okay, so when her and Fancy broke up,
Not broke up.
what?
Not broke up.
What would you call it? Fell out?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, when they fell out, of course, Ryan released all their text messages, blah, 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 and tried to say that Fancy was like pissing her off because she was trying to talk to her, text her, and Ryan was at work making pizzas. And so she sent Fancy voice messages, like a voice memo thing.
Uh-huh.
And those clips of her screaming are from those voice clips. She was screaming her head off and like was proud of it. She played them over and over and over.
I kind of feel bad for her a little bit because like that just clearly shows like the level of issues she has.
Yeah, no, that's why I kind of started laying off her a little bit because I'm like, dang, if you're having trauma dumps on the internet, then
But I mean, she needs
you're
to just get
sensitive.
off the internet. Like
She's way too sensitive.
yeah, like you can't if you're on the internet, you need to have tough skin. You really do. Like you cannot let this
You
internet
have
chew you
right.
up, eat you alive because they will.
They will absolutely.
Everything's a joke on the internet. Like if it hits the internet, just know it's a joke. You will be a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably needs to get off the internet and I don't know, get some help
That's for sure.
because it's just like she's not doing herself any justice right now.
And also, like, let's be real, okay? The chances of you making like lifelong friendships on here is pretty.
Not realistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
and too, especially not if you're not mentally healthy.
Right, but if you're coming on here with the intent of making all these friendships, yeah, that's not going to end up well for you. Trauma dumping on the internet.
That for her. I don't think she. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Ryan's thought that far into it.
Into what the internet, like what she's actually doing.
Yeah, I think it's just an emotional decision based off of like how she feels at that moment. I don't think she's intentionally, like I don't think her intent for herself is to screw herself over. You know what I'm saying? Like I think she's just it's impulsive.
She's going to continue to have these situations where she's literally heartbroken over her
I don't think she'll let
short
another
term.
situation like this happen to her though.
I don't know. I think Jimmy's next. She's
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
a fallout with
Jimmy's
Jimmy.
another really unstable person.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if I was to expose to you what I have on Jimmy, any person that supported her in the past would have a whole nother look on her.
Really?
I'm just waiting on the person to tell me if I could release what I have. Because people need to know who she really is.
Well, I'll have my popcorn ready.
She's the real bully.
She what?
She's the real bully.
Yeah. Where did she come from? Did she just show up one day?
Girl, you're gonna laugh. One of my mods saw one of her videos, and the video was really funny.
Uh-huh.
And she sent me the video or whatever, and it was about Gypsy. So I sent her a friend request, and so she ended up being on live or something, and I was in her chat talking, and we ended up going on live together.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been over the course of like 2 or 3 days. It wasn't like a long period. On the third day, or I can't remember if it was the third. I don't want to quote exactly because I don't want to be lying. She said, "Let's do a swap. You be me, I will be you." I said, "Okay." So she told me exactly what I should say to be her. Literally verbatim, she told me.
What do you mean?
She was like, "You gotta say, bro. I shop at Walmart for my clothes." She's like, "How? What time do you wake up to do your makeup?" And I was like 6 or 7 to go to work. So she goes, "Oh, you're lucky if I take a shower." Right? So
Yeah.
I said all of this in the live stream when I was at work.
Okay, I got you. That's why they're saying you're a
Now she's
bully.
saying I bullied her. Like, girl, you told me to say this.
Okay, I was wondering where that came from. Now I get it. Well, that's weird.
So, and then she keeps saying post a live. I didn't have my live saved, right? And so I'm like, girl, you saying post a live. Like the whole thing, like people that actually watched it play out know that Jimmy set the whole thing up.
So that's why they're like, put the video back up, put it back up.
And I'm, girl, it's crazy. Like that's when I was like, oh, I didn't realize she was this crazy. Now, mind you, the same day, I'm gonna just read you this. I can't tell you who she sent this to. I'm just waiting on this person to tell me if I could post this because I was going to post the screenshots and everything to prove it. Hold on.
Hey, Andy.
Here it is. Read this. Uh, some of this stuff I can't say because it would be obvious that this person.
Your audio's getting a lot of wonky.
So basically, she was. I can't say this stuff would make it obvious who it was.
Oh,
I just realized it once this person tells me if I could release it or not. I really want people to see who she is for who she is.
yeah.
But yeah, no, like that fallout's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be when you really need your popcorn.
Yes. Yep. I'll be throwing everybody under the bus that Ryan shit her pants on.
Yes, Jimmy was talking smack about Ryan, and then that I would be leery of someone that was talking smack about me and then became cool with me. Like I would never trust
Mhm.
someone like that, regardless
Yeah.
whether we were. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then she says it was my fault. Like, girl, I didn't make you dislike her.
Mm-mm. That's how I found her because she was talking shit about Ryan. She would restream her.
Right, but she said I made her do that. That's what she said.
No, 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 no.
So the thing is supposed to be, oh, I'm the bully.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is it's crazy. It's just it's nuts. It's
It's
if you would have seen it play out, you would have been like, okay, these are for real mental health patients. If you would have really seen it play out, you would have been like, okay, this is crazy. They all crazy.
mhm.
But I mean, it is what it is at this point. But I think the people that fool with her need to really know who they're dealing with.
She a criminal?
No, no, she's not that I know of. I can't
Well,
say
that's
that.
good.
She's
That's
just
a plus.
not that I know of. Not that I know of. I just know she is not a good person. And I personally have proof of her being more than just a bully to
Oh no.
somebody that was suicidal.
Okay, like
And
suicide
she was
trolling,
aware. And she was aware.
like suicide baiting, trolling, like encouraging
Basically,
things like that.
it's saying stuff to someone that was already down,
Shut
intentionally
up.
being, yes, I have proof of it.
Wow. Interesting.
That's why for her to say that about the whole live, that's what really pissed me off because it's like, girl, she doesn't know that I know.
Lil Red, I am not monetized because I use other people's content, so I don't have memberships. I do have a Cash App and a PayPal. If anybody would want to hit that up, just let me know. I don't always drop it in here, but I can. Huh. Well,
Nothing
that's
lost yet.
interesting considering that they were trauma dumping together. That's so weird.
I mean, it's like pot meet kettle, you know.
I don't know what's crazy. I think TikTok may be crazier than YouTube.
I just think it's people that are mentally unstable that
Mm-hmm.
just do stuff that just is not appropriate.
Right.
Like it's just not appropriate. But thank you for streaming this. I need to rewash my
Yeah.
hair.
Thank you for coming up. I'll
Oh,
send you
thank
the
you.
link to this.
Okay.
That
And
way
I'll
you can
post it in
have
one of
it.
my videos. Okay.
It's just unlisted. It's on my backup channel.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about like uh, whatever. But if you want it and wanted to clip anything from it, you'll have it.
I'll probably put it in. I'll figure it out. But
Okay.
thank you. Bye,
No
y'all.
problem. Thanks for coming up, Nina.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I'm going to finish this video.
I never think about you. Literally. The last time I thought about you was on take someone's content and post it on your own page day. Remember? You came up with it. I just followed you, remember? Yeah. That's the last time I thought about you, girl. And you did the challenge first, remember? And then yeah. Anyways, I hope y'all like my eyeshadow because I did it literally all night. All night. So yeah, Nina, I ain't trying to take your account down. Get your pennies, girl. Go get your pennies, girl. Go get it. Get your pennies. Anyways, goodbye.
Okay, so she's trying to throw shade about the pennies. About the pennies. Yeah, Nina was on Tyra Banks' show like way back in the day. I haven't gotten the full story about that, but I just saw the clip. I thought it was cute. Pennies. Oh, what was I going to say? What else? What else? Oh, Nina's content will be featured in the new Lifetime series, this whole debacle with Gypsy. And I think it's called like Life After Lockup or some shit. Maybe I'm wrong. Something like that. And that will come out in June. So stay tuned for that to watch all the ins and outs of what happened with Gypsy and Pixie, my puppy Pixie. This is my puppy Pixie. And I abandoned him. And Lifetime contacted Nina. So Nina won't be in it, but Nina's content will be in it. So that should be interesting. And I guess that's why they're so big bothered by Nina, is because she's made such an impact on a lot of people align with her. She's anti-Gypsy. Let's just say she's anti-Gypsy, and so am I. Can you have my autograph? Sure. Thanks, Andy. All right, guys, I gotta go finish my day. So I appreciate you all being here. If you watch it on the replay, hello, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It's a free way to promote the channel and get it in that algorithm. So yeah, to recap, Ken's mom, I don't really know what to say about her. I can't find the words. Ken's mother seems what would be a good word to describe Ken's mother before we go? Oh, your device is not connected, Andy. Have a great rest of your. What would I say about Ken's mom? Willfully ignorant. How about that? Ken's mom is willfully ignorant. Hello, Andy. Make it quick. I gotta go. I've been on here for 2.5 hours. Delulu. There you go.
Hey,
Just a little what?
where you going?
Because I've been on for 2.5 hours. I got shit to do.
Oh, I barely just woke up. Meaning to stay up for another half an hour.
What?
Just woke up.
Sounds like it.
Can you stay on for another hour?
No, absolutely not.
Can I get a recap of what happened?
No, you can watch the replay.
Is it all about Jip Jip?
No, it's about the Gyp drama. Well, it's a Ken's mom. You just have to watch it. Oh, I will,
Small
Cassandra.
recap. Small recap.
I can't recap it. She's
Just give me
out
the
there.
bullet points. Just give me the bullet points.
No, there's too much, Andy. It's not that easy, or I would. You
Who was
probably
the
don't
first?
even know. You don't even know who Ken is, so it's no point in me even telling you.
I know a little bit. I'll be
No.
listening.
Uh-uh.
Who was the girl on your panel?
That's Nina. She is over on TikTok. Y'all, if you are on TikTok, follow Nina over there. That's her main platform. She does have a YouTube, so check that out. But she mainly posts on TikTok.
Oh, nice. So she'd be doing the Jip Jip
Thank
drama?
you all. Huh?
She'd be doing the Jip Jip stuff?
Yeah, she does a lot of stuff, different things. But yeah, she's covered Gypsy. And Ken's mom came up on what we call a panel over there, and I recorded it. And when you do TikTok lives, like you can't rewind it. And
I
once the
know. I hate that.
once the live is over, it's over, it's gone. And I happened to record it, so we were going over that.
Any news on Natasha Cooper getting all involved over there?
She was on the stream that I'm talking about too. She came in at the end.
Okay, I'm gonna rewind right now. So I was up late last night, so when I woke up and I saw you live, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Is
man.
she available? The girl that was on the panel?
No.
Oh.
All right, I'm about to end it. I gotta go
Okay.
for real.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. In the meantime, you have a great one. Have a great rest of your day and your week and all of that good stuff. And
disclaimer.
Wrong button.
Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time! I didn't think so.
Thank you for being here. Love you so much. Bye.
A disclaimer that I don't have all that much time today. I got a little bit of time today.
This beat is going to drop in 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's fair game, right?
Bye, everybody.